Statistics on fatherless homes. 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes, 5 times the average. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes, 32 times the average. 85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes, 20 times the average. 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes, 14 times the average. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes, 9 times the average. Father factor in education. Fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of school. Children with fathers who are involved are 40% less likely to repeat a grade in school. Children with fathers who are involved are 70% less likely to drop out of school. Children with fathers who are involved are more likely to get A's in school. Children with fathers who are involved are more likely to enjoy school and engage in extracurricular activities. 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes, 10 times the average. Father factor in drug and alcohol abuse. Researchers at Columbia University found that children living in two-parent household with a poor relationship with their father are 68% more likely to smoke, drink, or use drugs compared to all teens in two-parent households. Teens in single-mother households are at a 30% higher risk than those in two-parent households. 70% of youths in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes, 9 times the average. 85% of all youths in prison come from fatherless homes, 20 times the average. Father factor in incarceration. Even after controlling for income, youth in father-absent households still had significantly higher odds of incarceration than those in mother-father families. Youths who never had a father in the household experienced the highest odds. A 2002 Department of Justice survey of 7,000 inmates revealed that 39% of jail inmates lived in mother-only households. Approximately 46% of jail inmates in 2002 had a previously incarcerated family member. 1/5 experienced a father in prison or jail. Father factor in crime. A study of 109 juvenile offenders indicated that family structure significantly predicts delinquency. Adolescents, particularly boys in single-parent families, were at higher risk of status, property, and person delinquencies. Moreover, students attending schools with a high proportion of children of single parents are also at risk. A study of 13,986 women in prison showed that more than half grew up without their father, 42% grew up in a single-mother household, and 16% lived with neither parent. Father factor in child abuse. Compared to living with both parents, living in a single-parent home doubles the risk that a child will suffer physical, emotional, or educational neglect. The overall rate of child abuse and neglect in single-parent households is 27.3 children per 1,000, whereas the rate of overall maltreatment in two-parent households is 15.5 per 1,000. Daughters of single parents without a father involved are 53% more likely to marry as teenagers, 711% more likely to have children as teenagers, 164% more likely to have a premarital birth, and 92% more likely to get divorced themselves. Adolescent girls raised in a two-parent home with involved fathers are significantly less likely to be sexually active than girls raised without involved fathers. 43% of U.S. children live without their father. 90% of homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists motivated with displaced anger come from fatherless homes. 71% of pregnant teenagers lack a father. 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. 85% of children who exhibit behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. 90% of adolescent repeat arsonists live with only their mother. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 75% of adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions have no father. 85% of youth in prisons grew up in a fatherless home. Fatherless boys and girls are twice as likely to drop out of high school, twice as likely to end up in jail, 4 times more likely to need help for emotional or behavioral problems. These are very sad statistics, and family law reform is needed, and needed now. Census fatherhood statistics. 64.3 million estimated number of fathers across the nation. 26.5 million number of fathers who are part of married couple families with their own children under the age of 18. Among these fathers, 22% are raising 3 or more of their own children under 18 years old. Among married couple family households, only 2% live in the home of a relative or a non-relative. 2.5 million number of single fathers, up from 400,000 in 1970. Currently, among single parents living with their children, 18% are men. Among these fathers, 8% are raising 3 or more of their own children under 18 years old. 42% are divorced, 38% have never married, 16% are separated, and 4% are widowed. The percentages of those divorced and never married are not significantly different from one another. 16% live in the home of a relative or non-relative. 27% have an annual family income of $50,000 or more. 85% among the 30.2 million fathers living with children younger than 18, the percentage who lived with their biological children only. 11% lived with stepchildren. 4% with adopted children. Less than 1% with foster children. Recent policies encourage the development of programs designed to improve the economic status of low-income non-resident fathers and the financial and emotional support provided to their children. This brief provides 10 key lessons from several important early responsible fatherhood initiatives that were developed and implemented during the 1990s and early 2000s. Formal evaluations of these earlier fatherhood efforts have been completed, making this an opportune time to step back and assess what has been learned and how to build on the early program's successes and challenges. While the following statistics are formidable, the responsible fatherhood research literature generally supports the claim that a loving and nurturing father improves outcomes for children, families, and communities. Children with involved, loving fathers are significantly more likely to do well in school, have healthy self-esteem, exhibit empathy and pro-social behavior, and avoid high-risk behaviors such as drug use, truancy, and criminal activity compared to children who have uninvolved fathers. Studies on parent-child relationships and child well-being show that father love is an important factor in predicting the social, emotional, and cognitive development and functioning of children and young adults. 24 million children, 34%, live absent their biological father. Nearly 20 million children, 27%, live in single-parent homes. 43% of first marriages dissolve within 15 years. About 60% of divorcing couples have children, and approximately 1 million children each year experience the divorce of their parents. Fathers who live with their children are more likely to have a close, enduring relationship with their children than those who do not. Compared to children born within marriage, children born to cohabiting parents are 3 times as likely to experience father absence, and children born to unmarried, non-cohabiting parents are 4 times as likely to live in a father-absent home. About 40% of children in father-absent homes have not seen their father at all during the past year. 26% of absent fathers live in a different state than their children, and 50% of children living absent their father have never set foot in their father's home. Children who live absent their biological fathers are, on average, at least 2 to 3 times more likely to be poor, to use drugs, to experience educational, health, emotional, and behavioral problems, to be victims of child abuse, and to engage in criminal behavior than their peers who live with their married, biological, or adoptive parents. From 1995 to 2000, the proportion of children living in single-parent homes slightly declined, while the proportion of children living with 2 married parents remained stable.